Hi y'all, sorry I'm in my bed and sick. I have a pretty bad case of the flu and strep. But anyways, the article I chose was called Helping Gen Z Employees Find Their Place at Work. And it was published in a 2023 collection titled Multi-Generational Workplace, The Insights You Need from Harvard Business Review. And I thought that was a pretty good choice. It first interested me because I'm a part of Gen Z, so seeing how researchers sometimes evaluate and talk about our generation, it fascinates me because sometimes it's not always positive. And then as I started reading this article, I was even more interested because the first part of the article, the authors actually acknowledged the influence that Gen Z has on the world rather than dismissing us as inexperienced or disengaged. And that recognition of how important we are as a generation really interested me and wanted me to I wanted to keep reading to better understand how their research is used to explain how we behave, especially in the workforce, as someone who just recently started entering the workforce. Um, this article was pretty interesting. It explains how pretty much Gen Z is entering the workforce after going through major events, like major social events, COVID-19, in a world that's pretty much always been digital. We don't know anything besides a digital world. Because of that, the research states that Gen Z doesn't see work as a paycheck, but rather somewhere where they need transparency, purpose, feedback, and opportunities to grow. Also, at the same time, the article mentions that a lot of Gen Z struggles to feel like they truly belong somewhere, which is why oftentimes they struggle with turnover rates. To address this, the authors laid out several points where leaders can use to better support their Gen Z employees, such as being more open about decisions within the company, having honest conversations with the employees about pay and career paths, because that's a big one that sometimes employers often overlook, and clearly showing how the Gen Z employee matters. Not just letting them work, actually showing how they matter to the company. The article also highlights the importance of giving Gen Z members autonomy, consistent feedback, and access to learning and development. Most importantly, the article acknowledges that Gen Z really needs connection, like real connection, because, we missed a lot of that with the 4 years that COVID lasted. That we need a good amount of mentoring, teamwork, and leadership to help guide us through a workplace and feeling like we actually belong and feeling supported and not isolated. And the biggest takeaway I had from this article is that how important connection and communication actually is for Gen Z, because for me, I missed a lot of that in high school, which is your key foundational communication stage years, in my opinion. And it's fascinating to see how sometimes, or a lot of times, people assume that younger workers in Gen Z are just unmotivated or just entitled. And the article actually shows the opposite of that a lot of them are just looking for that guidance, that purpose, that sense of belonging. And I also found the continuous conversation that feedback is really important for Gen Z, because we're just so used to fast communication and instant communication because of the digital world. And I just thought this article was a good explanation to how Gen Z acts and how they need to thrive within the workplace. Thank you.